What's this one over here? It's a dark bark and lots of... Homeostasis is when we maintain a constant internal temperature of our body, and we do that by sweating and getting goosebumps. It's okay. But dogs do that in a little bit different way. They obviously breathe real hard and they stick out their tongue. They have fur in order to keep themselves warm when it's cold, and they shed fur if it gets too warm. But they don't sweat like we do. The only place where they sweat is on their paws. Their paws can sweat if they get too warm too. And that's how they maintain homeostasis. Again, homeostasis is the act of maintaining a constant internal environment inside of our bodies, and is one of the characteristics of life. All living things maintain a constant internal environment in one way or the other. Other ways in which we can maintain a constant internal environment is by breathing. We don't like our bodies to be too acidic on the inside, and so we breathe out CO2, and that helps reduce the acidity inside of our body. Here they are, my special guests. We got Charlie, and Joey. Under the blanket is Joey. Hello, Joey. I can't see you. Oh. Hi. Hi. And Elizabeth. Elizabeth, how old are you?
I'm 10.
You're 10 years old? Charlie, how old are you?
I'm 8.
You're 8. Joey, how old are you?
5.
You're 5. Okay, everyone stand up right next to each other. Hurry up.
No,
Stand up next to each other. Joey, take that off. Stand up next to your brother. Okay, so 5, 8, and 10. 5, 8, and 10, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you guys all the same size?
No.
No, that's because you're growing up. And growth and development is a part of the characteristics of life. All life grows and develops in one way or another. Even one-celled organisms do. So the characteristic of life of stimuli is our next one that we wish to talk about. You want to show them what it means to respond to stimuli? Yes. Yes. Tickle, 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 tickle. Tickle, 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 tickle.
Tickle me again.
Tickle, 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 tickle.
Tickle me again.
Tickle, tickle, tickle. Tickle, tickle, tickle.
You.
Yes, we respond to stimuli, and being tickled is one of those responses. Yes, 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 yes.
No.
And here's another response to stimuli. Here's Henry. He likes it when I rub his tummy. Yeah, don't you, Henry? Yes, you do. Yes. Anyway, those are all examples of response to stimuli. My kids are going crazy. Another characteristic of life is reproduction, and reproduction is more than just reproducing new organisms. Reproduction, a sign of life, obviously, if you are able to have children, that's reproduction. But let me show you another type of reproduction. That's my hand, and obviously I've got a little owie on my hand. I can't even remember how I got that. I think a cat bit me or scratched me or something originally. Something happened and I got hurt. But anyway, if you look closely, let me see if I can get closer to my owie. You can see that it's red There is slight redness around um, the sore, but you can also see new cells growing around to slowly close in that sore. And that is another sign of reproduction in my cells. It's called mitosis, and mitosis is going to heal that. Eventually, you'll never know that it was there. That we're looking at my sore that I have on my hand, we know that there are cells there, and that's the third characteristic of life, is cells. All living things have cells. Let's look at a better example of cells than my ouch and see if we can look at some real life cells. This is an image of skin cells up close. They're flat, but they have order and structure to them. And they help protect us from the outside world so that our bodies don't get sick. So the fifth characteristic of life is metabolism. And I have what's left of my Uncrustable peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And I've got Henry here. Henry, sit. Sit. Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. Yummy. So metabolism is the process of breaking and forming chemical bonds. And when we eat, we break down chemical bonds, and then our digestive system reforms them into molecules that we can use to have energy, right? So I am out in the desert, and it is, let's see what temperature it is. Don't know if you can see that, but it's 104 degrees out here, and it's hot, and my body has to find a way to adjust to that environment. And we've talked about homeostasis, where our body changes according to the conditions that it wishes to maintain. Our body wants to maintain a internal temperature of 97.6 degrees. It's 104 degrees out here. It's too high for my body, and so it has to regulate its body temperature by doing a few things. First of all, I'm going to start sweating, right? I can already feel it. I'm sweating. And that sweating is going to act like a swamp cooler. If you know what a swamp cooler is, water allows us to be cooler. And so that helps cool us off. That water beads on our skin, and then as wind comes by and evaporates it, it carries that heat away and helps us to keep our body temperature cool. The other thing I could do is I could sit down here in the shade, and that would help keep me cool. There are a lot of animals that don't have the ability to sweat. We talked about Henry, my dog. He only sweats on his paws, but he breathes real hard. Other animals like reptiles, snakes, don't see any around, snakes or other organisms, other reptiles, lizards and such, they have to move around in order to change their body temperature. Either they'll sun if it's too cold, or they'll get in the shade and try and hide from the sun. And then there is plants. So plants can't move. They don't sweat. How do they adapt? How do they do homeostasis? Well, plants, they do their own little thing. They don't have to worry about temperature too much. They're mostly worried about water. Water is the biggest thing that they worry about, and getting rid of water or keeping water allows them to maintain their constant internal environment. It's because all living things, not only do they maintain their environment, we call that an ecological niche, keeping all of that water inside, well, it does so. Evolution is the last characteristic of life, and Charlie's gonna kind of try and show us, but we can't show you evolution because evolution is change over time, and what I'm talking about is many generations, and with human biology that's just not possible for me to illustrate here on this video, but we might be able to illustrate some change over time with microbiology.